On this second night of February, it's a Conference USA matchup on the campus of Western Kentucky, with the Hilltoppers taking on Texas San Antonio at Diddle Arena here in Bowling Green. Hi everyone, Steve Schlanger welcoming you here tonight alongside Lexi Schweinart and Jay Walton. Glad to have you with us. And well, Lexi, these are two teams that really like to put the month of January in the rearview mirror. It was just awful, both enduring long losing streaks and now just trying to right things as we get into the month of February.
Exactly. These two teams are both trying to stay out of last place in Conference USA. UTSA 1-11 in conference. WKU slightly better, 3-8. WKU facing a lot of adversity this season with Luke Frampton now out with an ACL tear. Coach Rick Stansbury was also out for 8 consecutive games. But UTSA also has a lot of injuries, and like you said, they're on an 8-game losing streak. Jay, you're a former player. How important is it right now just for these teams' morale to get a notch in the win column?
Well, January and February can be a grind. It's hard enough when you're winning and things are going well. And for both of these teams, these coaching staffs, the task at hand is to try to get your team to focus on tonight. You can't look past, you can't look forward. Play for the guy right beside you. Do everything we can tonight to get a win.
Good crowd here at Diddle Arena on this Thursday night, Groundhog Day in Bowling Green, Kentucky. What does that mean for this game? I have no idea, but we are about to find out. The Roadrunners of Texas San Antonio in the blue, the Hilltoppers in the white. This is a series that has only been played over the course of the last few years. 12th meeting all time between these two schools. Western Kentucky leads with 8 wins to only 3 losses, and they won the most recent meeting in pretty convincing fashion in the first week of January when they never trailed in winning by 10 down in Texas. Jay, both teams have endured injuries. They've suffered through some tough stretches here so far this season as the first shot of the game goes down for Dante Allen, who is one of those guys coming off the bench because of the injuries. So how will that impact the game tonight, the lack of depth from these two teams?
Well, for West Kentucky, not the deepest team to begin with, and with an injury and a couple other situations, they're down a guy here and there in the roster, and so you got to have guys off the bench that step up. And Dante Allen, one of those guys they had high hopes for early in the year, the transfer from Kentucky. Big shot for him to see one go in right in the early going here.
Western Kentucky has lost 5 in a row. Allen now 1 for 2 from deep. Ironically enough, though, when this Western Kentucky team beat the Roadrunners in San Antonio back in early January, they'd also lost 5 in a row going into that game. And they finally halted the streak and won their first Conference USA game of the season. Shot clock in single digits says the Roadrunners get on the board. That is Marcel Jouf, the freshman from the Netherlands.
Key tonight, I think, for Western Kentucky is going to be their ball screen defense. You can see UTSA wants to bring Jamarian Sharp away from the basket, create some opportunities at the rim whenever possible. That time able to get the dump down feed for an easy 2.
And it is Sharp who draws the first foul of the basketball game. Jamarian Sharp, a senior from Hopkinsville, Kentucky. You know the story by now. Tallest player in Division I college basketball at 7'5", leading the nation in blocks, setting all kinds of school records here for the Hilltoppers. And what might be even most impressive is that he has more blocks by himself than 75% of a lot of teams collectively in Division I college basketball.
He's certainly a very unique player, and I think the toughest thing for teams when you prepare for West Kentucky, you cannot simulate that in your practice leading up to this game. You can put your biggest guy on the floor, but he's nowhere near the presence at 7'5" as Jamarian Sharp. And as you can see right there, he didn't get the block, but he contested that shot and altered it. So he, as many blocks as he has throughout the course of a game, he probably has just as many possessions defensively where he contests shots and affects that shooter without even getting a block.
In the end, it winds up being a foul, and the Roadrunners at the free throw line for the first time. It is Jouf who scored their first basket. And this Roadrunner team coming in pretty good collectively from the stripe at 74% from the season. But they've had a torrid stretch, losers of 9 in a row, and trying to find some way to turn things around here with about 6 weeks left to go in the regular season. Jarris Hamilton on the miss and out of bounds over to the Roadrunners.
Nothing but zone defense early going for UTSA, and last 2 possessions, Western able to get the ball in the high post area. Didn't come up with buckets on those 2 possessions, but that's where you want to attack the zone. In the high post area, look high, look low, create some opportunities in the middle of that zone.
That is a guy that Western Kentucky will have to keep an eye on. Jaffe Medor, the senior from Florida, their leading scorer. At 13 points a game, leads this team in many offensive categories as Davian McKnight misses on his first triple, a leading scorer for this Western Kentucky squad.
Western Kentucky really going to miss Luke Frampton. Obviously, the senior went down with a knee injury a few games back, and when you're attacking a zone, you love to have your best shooter available. Not going to be the case tonight, so some other Hilltoppers will have to step up and prove that they can make some long-range jump shots if UTSA stays in this zone for the rest of the night.
Emmanuel Acott coming up short. Luke Frampton seeing his college career come to an end. The 6th-year player from West Virginia tearing the ACL in his right knee back on January the 21st. Tore his left ACL his freshman year, so really banged up his knees during the course of his college basketball playing days, and now it's over. And not just missing his offensive output from 3-point range, but also defensively. He was very reliable, so again, that thin quality of the Western Kentucky roster could be an issue.
Yes, Frampton brings so much more to the table, just besides being able to catch and shoot. It's his experience and level-headedness, and like you mentioned, the depth. Obviously, they're missing from their roster with him gone.
DJ Richards, the freshman from Houston, at the free throw line. One of 4 players averaging in double figures for this Roadrunner squad. But they don't have a lot of secondary scoring, and the biggest problem is they've been turning the ball over too much. They had 17 turnovers in the loss to Western Kentucky back at home in early January. And that's been their biggest liability so far this season, as Hamilton misses from the elbow. Western Kentucky had 25 points off those 17 turnovers from UTSA. DJ Richards launches and buries it. The freshman has made an immediate impact, 2nd on the team from 3-point range, had 11 points in the first meeting with Western Kentucky before falling out as well.
What a bright future this young man has in this league. It's, as you mentioned, made his presence known so far already. He's not shy, can score in a variety of ways, and it's a tough jumper to go down early.
Davian McKnight looking for his first points for Western Kentucky, averaging 17 per game, has the most field goals as anyone in Conference USA. With Jacob Germany going up against the 7'5" Sharp, and he loses that battle in the one-on-one. Acott running the floor. Hamilton with the follow and the 3-point play. So Western Kentucky falling behind early on their home floor, but chipping away here. UTSA off to a strong start here on the road, looking to put an end to an 8-game losing streak here in Conference USA. Back at Diddle Arena here in Bowling Green, Kentucky, UTSA has doubled up the Hilltoppers 12-6 with just north of 15 minutes left to go in the first half. And for the Roadrunners, their leading scorer has really paced them in so many different ways this season. Jaffe Medor, the senior from Florida.
What a dynamic point guard. Can hurt you in so many different ways. Off the bounce, he can score. He can shoot from deep. But what he really does well is get in the paint, create mismatches, draws help, and makes plays for his teammates. And battled some injuries here lately, but he's back tonight and making his presence felt early in this game. A young man that I really love to watch play.
He has missed 3 of the last 4 games because of a foot injury, and one of several different players missing time this year because of various injuries. Jacob Germany, the senior, has also been out. Aliu, another senior from Austin, Texas, also has missed some time. And in fact, UTSA has used 9 different starting lineups as a result so far this season.
Well, you talked about that 8-game losing streak. You just wonder, had they had Germany and Madure for all of those games available, if that would have been the case. 2 of their top scorers and leaders, and just tough to play without your horses.
Jacob Germany connecting on that last shot for the Roadrunners. And the corner 3 misses from Allen. And taking it all the way, wire to wire, but missing. Christian Tucker allowing McKnight to come back for Western Kentucky. Extra pass, Aycott for 3. The second triple of this first half for the home side.
What a great decision, unselfish pass by Allen. Pass him a good shot for a great shot, and Aycott able to knock it down on the trail.
Western Kentucky still not shooting the ball all that well from the field as Germany gets the basket and the foul on Sharp. Second field goal in the last 2 minutes for Jacob Germany, the senior from Oklahoma, and he'll head to the line to try and complete the 3-point play.
I was thinking a couple of possessions ago, Germany challenged Sharp, got the shot blocked, and I'm thinking maybe a long night for him, but he's undeterred, goes right back at the big fella and able to get the 3-point play opportunity here.
Honorable mention, all-conference last year, and has really played well in his career against Western Kentucky. As a matter of fact, last year had 26 and 11 while playing every minute in the game against the Hilltoppers.
Very skilled player, and just being left-handed, I think, for a post player is an advantage. Tough to guard.
Turnover by the Hilltoppers, who are just 3 of 11 from the field, trailing by 6. And now that lead stretched to 9 for UTSA.
West Kentucky have not been able to find their shooting touch early. I actually like the looks that they're getting against the zone. They've attacked it well, got the ball in the high post, been patient in the half court. Just got to get 1 or 2 to go down. What you hope as a coach, the coaching staff, is that your inability to make shots early in the game affects your effort defensively on the other end of the floor.
Now Davian McKnight is still looking for his first basket. 0 of 3 from the field. McKnight, again, a guy averaging 17 per game. Huge from beyond the arc. 5th in the conference in points scored, and he's come up empty so far. Largest lead for Texas San Antonio. Germany struggled to get that one up. Falou Jean sizing up the 3. Western Kentucky 2 of 6 from downtown, but a turnover by the Roadrunners. Tyrone Marshall closes it out at the other end.
Just great effort by Marshall. Hustle plays on both ends of the floor, creates a turnover, and is rewarded with the dunk on the other end. Kind of gets this crowd into the game a little bit. A little offense off of the defense, easy bucket. A great way to break a scoring drought.
If you're both of the coaches, what kind of a vibe are you getting right now? What kind of changes or tweaks might you be thinking of?
Well, again, I think West Kentucky just needs to settle down, keep attacking the inside of that zone, being patient. They're getting the looks they want. They'll start to fall. Keep playing hard on the defensive end. For UTSA right now, with no Jamarian Sharp on the floor, wouldn't be surprised to see them go attack inside out right now. Get the ball into Germany on the block, let him operate a little bit. And he's a very capable passer as well. Always has his eyes up, looking for cutters, looking for the fan pass to the opposite side of the floor for open shooters.
Germany back at the free throw line. Had 11 points in the first meeting with Western Kentucky back in January and was a perfect 7 of 7 from the line. Missed his first free throw here tonight, now 1 of 2. Second on this team in scoring, averaging a dozen per game and has half a dozen double-doubles on the year as well. Lead back to 9. Deep three that time, and it's the second from just about that same spot for Dante Allen.
Yeah, that was deep, but it was in rhythm. That's exactly where he hit his first one. If he can get going against this zone defense, that would be huge for Western Kentucky.
Dante Allen has 2 of the 3 triples for Western Kentucky so far. And that time he draws the foul as Medor came out to smother him. And the lead is now 6. Texas San Antonio trying to get back in the win column. Failed to win in the month of January, and now on the second night of February, looking for a rare road win away from the Lone Star State. The junior from Nashville, Tennessee, Tyrone Marshall, has been a factor off the bench in the last several weeks for Western Kentucky, and he was a moment ago here as well.
Well, they love the energy that this young man brings to the table, and he says, you know what, we've been in a scoring drought, having a hard time attacking in the half court. I'm going to make something happen. Gets a steal from behind, runs the floor, great finish on the other end.
So valuable to have someone like him coming off the bench, as well as Dante Allen, who has 2 threes already. When you're missing your leading three-point shooter, Luke Frampton, who was top 5 in the nation in triples. Also Jordan Rawls, the senior from Chattanooga, also missing tonight. He's second in assists on this team because of a 1-game suspension for violating team rules. So it's not just injuries, it's other reasons why they're missing players who are regulars on this squad. Christian Lander, the junior from Evansville, Indiana, with his first 3-point basket.
As a coaching staff, you hate to lose guys to injury and suspension, but you're telling your rest of your roster it's an opportunity for you to step up and make something happen. And so far, Allen and Lander both able to hit shots, give their teams a spark. Exactly what you want for your guys off the bench.
Meanwhile, the basket and 1 for Medor. Played JUCO ball down in Florida, where he grew up, but he has been sensational since making the move to Texas, leading the squad in not just points, but steals, free throws. In fact, leads all of Conference USA in free throw attempts. So a very aggressive player who knows how to get to the line. Another deep 3 from Allen. Medor on the rebound this time and running the floor.
Great job by Western to get back and slow down UTSA on that break. You can see the pressure that Medor puts on the defense in the open court.
That was a terrific pass inside. They didn't get the basket, but they did pick up the foul. Marcel Joff, the freshman. And Medor, great bullet pass underneath.
Just a great vision. I think what makes him such a threat as a passer, number one, is vision. He sees the floor. He's obviously very unselfish, but he has got some of the quickest hands that I've seen in college basketball this season. Really gets rid of the ball quick. When there's an opportunity to be made with a pass, he capitalizes.
This is already going to be the 10th free throw of this first half for UTSA. 6 of 9 as a team.
Usually it's the other way around for a Rick Stansbury team. They like to shoot a lot of free throws, and most of the times make more free throws than their opponents attempt. Tonight it's been the other way around. Road Raiders on the attack, and Western Kentucky's settling for a lot of perimeter jump shots early.
Dante Allen. That's a crafty move. Allen doing damage outside, and for the first time taking it inside here tonight. DJ Richards misses everything on the 3 attempt. And all of a sudden, the Hilltoppers are within 4 here as we approach the midpoint of this opening frame.
You're not crazy about that shot by the freshman Richards there. It's a little early in the possession, a little deep. They can get a better look than that. You don't want to start taking too many forced jump shots early and let Western get back in this game.
Falujan on the fall away. UTSA coming off a loss at home to Louisiana Tech on Saturday. Fell by 11 points as Mador can't connect on that layup. Lander. 2-on-1 if they can hustle. DJ Richards. And he's going to draw the foul on Akon, who was kind of halfway into an attempt to take the charge, but nowhere near set.
Yeah, I think if he could have got his feet set and stood in, he might have gotten the call right there. But aggressive by Richards in the transition. It's what you want to do, is attack the basket, put pressure on the defender.
Good young player from Houston. Was a state tournament MVP back in high school. Went to the Montverde Academy in Florida, and so far in his freshman year already has back-to-back Conference USA Freshman of the Week honors.
Coming from Montverde Academy, you know he's played against a lot of high-level competition. Conference USA is tough an adjustment as it is for a freshman. He's seen a lot. He's been on the floor with a lot of talent over his high school career.
He's 3 of 4 from the free throw line, and the lead back to 6 for the Roadrunners. Akot sizing up a 3. Tucker had a shot altered. Akot on the miss. Looking for another crack at it. And then he stumbled. Miles stumbled trying to take it up. Would have been a sure layup. That's the kind of first half it's been offensively for Western Kentucky. DJ Richards, corner 3. Now Miles left wide open for a 3. And the hard times continue for this Hilltopper squad. 7 of 24 from the field. There's Germany on the pump fake and the finish.
It's a great change of pace there by Mador off the dribble. Hilltoppers lose him in transition, and he puts you in a scramble situation. And again, draws the help, unselfish play with a dump off to Germany.
This is the second game in a row Western Kentucky has really struggled from the field, and they lost their most recent outing at Florida Atlantic on Saturday. Shot only 15% from three-point range, just over 30% from the field altogether. Shot clock in single digits here. Under 8 to go, first half. Allen's going to have to get it up. A contested 3, really not the shot they wanted. Meantime, DJ Richards and the Roadrunners are getting to the rack. They are driving on Western Kentucky and getting shots in tight. They've extended their lead back out to double digits as a result. 7.5 left to go first half. The Roadrunners by 10 here in Bowling Green, Kentucky. 30-20. The Roadrunners leading the Hilltoppers here at Diddle Arena on the campus of Western Kentucky. And one player that Western Kentucky certainly missing, their leading three-point shooter, Luke Frampton, who tore his ACL just a few weeks ago. And he's in the building, and with more on him, let's send you over to Lexi. Hey, Lexi.
Hey guys, yeah, obviously WKU hurting tonight without Frampton, but yes, he is still here. He just had surgery to repair his ACL on Tuesday, yet he is here supporting his teammates. If you look right behind the bench, he is there with his right leg stretched out, chatting up with some fans. Maybe his mom is there, not sure who he's next to, but it's so cool. He just had surgery 2 days ago, yet he is still here supporting his team. And Steve, like you mentioned before, he tore his other ACL right before his freshman year at Davidson. I mean, this guy has just been through it all.
Yeah, Lexi, it's been an amazing career. As you see, number 5, DJ Richards there for this UTSA team. He had a technical foul called on him right before we went to break a moment ago, a taunting foul. So that puts Stavian McKnight at the free throw line to shoot the technical. So it was a taunting foul. He basically flexed at a player, and so they teed him up. He's on the bench. McKnight at the free throw line, and he gets his first point of the night, believe it or not. Highest scoring player on the court. Both teams combined, averaging 17 per game, and that's his first point here this evening. He's only taken 3 shots from the field as well.
He's not the kind of guy that typically forces too much. He likes to let the game come to him. But certainly as the game goes on, you'll want to see him be more aggressive, especially in the half court, or in the open court, I should say.
Sharp takes the mid-range. Jamarian Sharp with his first field goal of the night.
Don't see a lot of that from Sharp. Typically, his offense comes right at the rim in the form of a dunk. But shows the touch from the short corner there. And I think if you're the Roadrunners, you live with him taking that shot, but he made them pay on that possession.
Acott spinning. They just can't put a run together. Shooting under 30% from the field here in this first half.
Yeah, I've had several good opportunities right at the rim and transition and being aggressive off the dribble drives and just not being able to finish those plays.
Meanwhile, Christian Tucker buries the third 3 for Texas San Antonio as they expand on their margin once again back to double digits. Tucker, the sophomore from Arizona, had a season-high 6 rebounds in their loss on Saturday in their most recent game, and also went for 13 points from the field. Hamilton misses from 3 on the other end for Western Kentucky.
Just thinking that Hamilton's been awful quiet on the evening, and if I'm Rick Stansbury, I'm thinking, what can I do to get him going? And that shot right there, while he can make it, is probably not where he wants to get it. That's more like it right there, 2 feet in the paint, turn and score. Maybe that could get Jarrett's head up a little bit, get more involved offensively for the Hilltoppers.
Western Kentucky had been 1 of their last 10 from the field before that basket. Jacob Germany on the miss, and the rebound to Dante Allen. Five and a half to go first half here at Diddle Arena. McKnight in the paint. Just can't get it to drop. And then he commits the foul on the other end. Defensively, what would you like to see from Western Kentucky? What adjustments might they think about making?
Well, we talked a little bit ago about how sometimes when early stages of a game, the shots aren't going down for you, it kind of affects your effort on the defensive end. And you've got to stay locked in and grind these possessions out. Get some stops, get out and run. I tell you, UTSA, the times that Western Kentucky has gotten the stops and try to get out in the open floor, create some easy baskets, they've done a really good job of getting back and protecting the paint, forcing West Kentucky to play a half-court game.
Hamilton. That's 2 baskets in the last 90 seconds for Jarris Hamilton.
Yeah, that's a great spot for him, right at the elbow, able to elevate and hit those shots over a smaller defender.
Germany against Sharp, who blocked them earlier, this time lost the handle. And that's an offensive foul, our first of the game. It's going to go against Dante Allen.
Crowd doesn't like it. I think the official would tell you if he didn't dip that shoulder just a little bit, that it would have been a play on. Good job there by John Buggs of holding his ground, selling that call to the official. Buggs been awful quiet offensively for UTSA. Normally guy that gets in the mix pretty early, and now we see a little zone defense from the Hilltoppers for the first time tonight.
Buggs, the leading three-point shooter on this Roadrunner squad. They lead by 6, closing in on 4 to go. Richards fouled on the 3 attempt by Hamilton. So he'll go to the free throw line. He's got 3 free throws upcoming, and this Roadrunner squad has been living at the line here in this first half. 8 of 13 already from the stripe.
Well, it's a heads-up play by the Roadrunners to recognize the zone defense. They overload the side, get Richards the corner 3, and just a cardinal sin by Hamilton right there. The last thing you want to do is bail a guy out on a 3-point attempt to give him 3 easy ones.
This UTSA squad, somewhat peculiar. Averaging 67 points a game, on pace here tonight to exceed that by quite a lot. But 7 times so far this season, they've been held under 60 points, including the last 2 games prior to this. And as we said earlier, they've lost 8 in a row and 11 of 12. But given what we've seen tonight, they have 4 players averaging in double figures. You wonder where the losses have all come from.
Well, they've definitely delivered the first punch here tonight, and we'll see how Western Kentucky's able to respond the last 4 minutes of this half. And like you said, sometimes it's just a matter of being able to finish a game. You know, you're right there. I want, go back and look at their scores, and some of them come down to the last 2 or 3 minutes of a game, 1 or 2 possessions, and with the injuries they've had, not having your best guard, Maduro, on the floor, a couple of those games, and you're right there. And give Steve Henson and his staff credit. They are got their team playing well on the road here tonight in Bowling Green.
Both teams have played close games as of late. And the Roadrunners' biggest issue again has been turnovers, but they've kept those in check so far tonight. Sharp again, where he hit one a moment ago. He was working on that shot pregame for about half an hour, and he's hit the first 2 he's attempted.
Yeah, it's paying off. The young man showing the touch that you don't normally see from a 7'5" center.
Western Kentucky just hanging around here on their home floor. Alley-oop to Germany, who was wide open coming in back door.
That's a set play against the zone right there. Very well executed by the Roadrunners for the lob play.
Acott got Germany off his feet, and the finish with the foul. So a 3-point opportunity coming up for the 6th-year player, Emmanuel Acott. Hilltoppers not letting the Roadrunners run away here in Bowling Green. It is a 6-point game here with just north of 3 minutes left to go first half at Diddle Arena. And Jacob Germany, a senior from Oklahoma, active underneath.
Well, the last 2 possessions you've seen Western Kentucky go to the zone, and Roadrunners have attacked it very well. Got a corner 3 on the first possession, and there you see Germany with a finish on a design play for a lob.
Jacob Germany, one of 2 Roadrunners in double figures, along with DJ Richards, the freshman who leads all scorers with 12 points.
Great pass by Tucker there to find Germany. Draw the 7'5" shot blocker away from the rim. Lob it up, let Germany finish the deal.
And now Acott to try and complete the 3-point play. The native of Winnipeg, who played at both Boise State and Arizona, and was all Mountain West honorable mention and tournament team while out west.
Like how aggressive he's been early in this game, and he's gotten to the paint several times, not able to finish, but right there going into that timeout, able to get the and one.
And the pass for Germany knocked out as Tucker was thinking either score or dish, and he decided to pass at the last second.
Again, no Sharp on the floor right now. Let's see if the Roadrunners pounded inside to Germany, let him operate a little bit.
3 minutes left to go, first half. Good cut by Buggs. And I believe Marshall got a piece. As that one was deflected, it was Josh Farmer calling for the foul, the sophomore from Houston. He had an automatic dunk set up.
It was almost a highlight finish. Can't really tell if Marshall got a piece or not. Or maybe got away with a foul.
Meanwhile, Hamilton gets that one to fall. Those are the types of shots they couldn't get to go earlier in this half.
He went right at Germany that time. That's about as aggressive as I've seen Jarius Hamilton in a long time. Take it right inside the paint, jump stop, got a great balance, a couple of pump fakes, and finish through the contact. I'd like to see more of that.
3-point game. Buggs, leading three-point shooter on this squad. And that's going to be a foul on UTSA as McKnight had pulled down the rebound. Now, we mentioned that the Roadrunners have dealt with all kinds of injuries this season. With more on that, let's toss you over to Lexi.
Yeah, Steve, there's been lots of injuries so far this season. Medora missed 3 of the last 4 games with a foot injury. Also, Isaiah Duankra was playing games with a bad wrist at the beginning of the season. Coach said he's shooting well now, and being healthy will not only help him, but also the team. He's missed 10 games so far this season. Also, Germany has missed some time this year as well. He's working back from an injury. He looks great tonight. Like you said earlier, Steve, they've used 9 different starting lineups so far this season, obviously hurting so far in February.
And now McKnight at the free throw line, still looking for his first field goal. That's his second free throw that he has made so far.
Yeah, Lexi mentioned those injuries. I don't care what level you're on. You take your 2 best players out of the lineup for a several game stretch, you're going to be in trouble. It's remarkable how they bounced back tonight and got some guys healthy again and playing well in this first half on the road.
Now the Hilltoppers have pulled to within 1. They've enjoyed a 7-0 run over the last minute, and they've hit each of their last 4 from the field. Under 2 to go here in this first frame. Richards, leading scorer, on the floor, has a dozen points, kicks it out here for Buggs, and he buries a deep 3, his first of the game. The leading 3-point shooter on this squad, a redshirt sophomore from Louisiana, buries it. Davian McKnight. Still can't hit one. Guarding Medor, who spins in, kicks to the corner, now Buggs again.
Yeah, Western really dodged a bullet there on the miss by Buggs. He had just hit on the previous possession, and we're in a rotation situation caused by penetration by Medor.
Dante Allen, his third 3-point basket. With under a minute left to go in the half, and a timeout taken by Steve Henson over on the UTSA bench.
Huge shot by Dante Allen, really playing well, got the start tonight due to a couple of Western Kentucky players not being available. He's making the most of his opportunity, and a huge close for this first half for the Hilltoppers. A big stop here defensively for them. Got the opportunity to get a stop and the ball back for the final possession, which I think, if I'm not mistaken, would be their first lead since they went up 3-0.
Yep. Yeah, they've trailed for just about the entirety of this first half. Now back to a 1-point game here. Dante Allen, the first Western Kentucky player into double figures on the night. What a huge boost it would be if the Hilltoppers could take a lead to the locker room, especially the way this game started. Again, both teams dealing with the lack of available players. The rosters are thin right now, so they need to squeeze a lot out of the players we've seen so far in this opening half. Medor.
had the step on Lander, just not able to finish with the left hand.
Oh, and then Allen misses. Thought he was going to jam it home. And now they'll play for the final shot. So to guarantee that they will take the lead to the locker room. With just about 2 seconds, the differential between shot clock and game clock here, the Roadrunners will take it all the way down. Mador driving, had it blocked. Allen tries to get it ahead. Lander didn't get it off in time. And that takes us to the break here in Bowling Green. Entertaining first half here at Diddle Arena. Western Kentucky trailed by double digits early, but they close it to 1 after the first 20 minutes. UTSA looking for their first road win of the season, and the Road Runners have the lead 40-39 here over Western Kentucky. On our way to the second half on the campus of Western Kentucky, with the Road Runners leading the Hilltoppers 40-39. Once again, Steve Schlanger with Jay Walton and the third person in our crew, Lexi Schweinert, who is officially labeled as a sideline reporter, but officially we're all on the sideline. I mean, we have 3 sideline reporters, so why give her a designation? She's just going to join the family, jump on in. Lexi, it's interesting, as this is an important game for both of these squads. Still a regular season game in early February, but 2 teams sitting at the bottom of Conference USA, going through long losing streaks. Something's got to give here tonight, and one of these teams looking for a springboard for something better.
Yeah, Steve, you're totally right. Both these teams kind of hurting right now. The bottom 2 teams in conference, WKU ranked 10, 3 and 8 in conference. UTSA ranked 11th, 1 and 11 in conference, both on losing streaks right now. I did not expect this outcome at all as well. UTSA leading by double digits in the half. Now WKU only trailing by 1, kind of have some momentum going into the second half, but both these teams right now really, really vying for that win.
And Jay, the message for both teams in the locker room, if you were the head coaches on either side, what would it have been?
Well, the first 4 minutes are huge. Both teams want to get off to a good start. You want to get quality shots every time they're on the floor, which both teams have been able to do all night. Only 5 turnovers between the 2 teams, so they're getting clean looks. You know, whichever team comes out here with the most intensity defensively could set the tone for what goes down the rest of the half.
Cleaning up the turnovers is priority 1 for UTSA. Back in the first meeting between these teams in Texas, where Western Kentucky won by 10 in early January, the Roadrunners committed 17 turnovers. The Hilltoppers scored 25 points off those turnovers. It was a huge reason behind the victory for Western Kentucky, and it was that loss for the Roadrunners that dropped them into this current losing streak. That was the first of what has now become an 8-game losing streak. So Western Kentucky was the team that started their losing streak, and now it's the team they hope they'll put an end to the streak with by beating them on the road.
Well, winning on the road in college basketball, very, very difficult to do. And Western Kentucky able to steal one earlier on the year at UTSA, and the Roadrunners were like to return the favor tonight on Coach Steve Henson's birthday. Huge birthday present for him if he could come in here to Diddle Arena and get a win tonight.
7th-year head coach and a Conference USA Coach of the Year. If he does get the win, it'll be win number 97 as well for him, closing in on 100. Roadrunners losers of 8 in a row. Western Kentucky 5 in succession. So someone looking to break a streak here tonight and jumpstart what they hope will be a better month of February than what they went through in January. Richards leading all scores, misses on the first jump shot of the game, and the foul against the Roadrunners to start the half.
Well, the great first possession defensively for the Hilltoppers. They took the Roadrunners out of their initial set, able to force the miss, and Sharp with position for the rebound, able to hold his ground, draw the foul.
First of a 3-game homestand for Western Kentucky. And another close game unfolding between these 2 teams, with Dante Allen, who has the most 3-point baskets of any player here tonight. And Medor just lost the handle, but it's off a Sharp and out and stays with UTSA.
Well, I like that set for West Kentucky as well. Allen had the hot hand in the first half. Let's draw something up, get him a good look early, and he just missed it. That was a great look. And there you see the great point guard Medor for UTSA, able to force the issue in transition. He really puts a lot of pressure on the defense off the dribble. Hard to keep that guy in front.
Richards finds Juf, and he draws the foul. That was one of the signature aspects of the story for UTSA in the first half, going to the free throw line. They shot 16 free throws in that first half, made 10 of them. So getting some quality points here at the stripe early on.
Just not a huge offensive threat for the Roadrunners, but didn't hit the basket that time, but more importantly, drew the foul on Sharp to be his third.
So a 2-point lead, still inside the first minute of this second half. 3 of the last 6 meetings between these two schools have gone to overtime, so neither side a stranger to playing close games against one another. As Sharp on the follow misses, try to get another opportunity, and that time he picks up the foul. So he'll head to the free throw line. Jamarian Sharp, who is 1 of 2 from the stripe so far here this evening.
Coach Rick Stensbury really likes the matchup he saw with Emmanuel Acott against the smaller Tucker, and he's been able to get to his spot most of the night, just had a hard time finishing, and there Sharp cleans up the offensive rebound, draws the foul. But yeah, I like Acott being very aggressive, getting downhill into the paint, using his size advantage.
Sharp misses them both. Had 11 points in the first meeting between these schools. Has 5 so far here tonight. Interesting for Western Kentucky, you go back a year. They had also lost 5 in a row through the month of January, and then won their next 7 once the month of February rolled around. So a very similar spot here, and hoping that the outcome is just the same. Good offensive rebound that time by Joff. Had it blocked, takes it back up. Sharp blocks it again. Now Medor tied up by Sharp. And they're going to call a jump ball here with the arrow favoring the Hilltoppers.
Sharp really fortunate at that time not to get called for the reach in. That would have been his 4th, and he would have to gone to the bench for quite a while.
He's playing with 3. No one else with 3 personal fouls on either squad at this point. Davian McKnight still looking for his first field goal. Leading scorer gets it to Sharp on the alley-oop. But Davian McKnight averaging 17 per game, 0 of 5 from the field though in the first half. If they could just get something out of him, could be a drastically different complexion to this second half.
Yeah, I'm not so sure he's 100% tonight. He walked off the court at halftime pretty gingerly, had some discussion with the Western Kentucky trainer, so he's going to give it all he's got, that's for sure, but I'm not so sure he's got 100% tonight. Great pass there off the high ball screen and roll. Sharp does a great job running to the rim, and obviously at 7'5" is an easy target for McKnight to throw that ball up to.
Tie ball game. Western Kentucky looking for a rare lead, and they find it on the 3 from Hamilton. Had not had a lead since the first 3 minutes of the basketball game, and now out front by 3. Germany blocked by Sharp, but they're going to call the big man for the foul.
Oh, this Diddle Arena crowd did not like that at all. Thought it was a clean block. I think the official's saying he came down maybe with the arm after the block. Yeah, clean up top, but maybe got him on the follow through. But give Jacob Germany credit for being very aggressive right there. He knows Sharp has 3. I'm going to attack him. If I can get him to pick up his 4th foul. He's got to go to the bench for a while. It changes the dynamic defensively for Western Kentucky over this next several minutes.
So he comes out with 4 fouls. Germany at the free throw line.
And let's keep an eye on that play right there over these next several minutes. Western had just taken a lead. Big guy goes to the bench at 17-minute mark. You see how this plays out over the next several possessions.
Jacob Germany has matched DJ Richards for game-high scoring honors with 12, 4 of 5 from the free throw line. And the Hilltoppers lead by 1. Falujan all alone for a 3. And he drops it in for his first basket of the night.
Well, he's normally Sharp's backup and certainly brings a lot more to the table as far as perimeter shooting, as you see right there. Not near the shot blocking presence on the defensive end, but maybe a little bit more offensive punch with John off the bench.
Especially with Luke Frampton out. And now Germany again drawing the foul, that time on Falujan. So Germany back to the free throw line, so poised underneath, just going with the pump fake, and he draws contact.
Well, you like the patience that he showed right there. Gets his feet squared to the baseline, eyes on the target, lifts the defender off his feet, goes through and draws the foul. And I would expect Germany to be a big part of their offense as this second half plays out with Sharp on the bench with 4.
UTSA has shot over twice as many free throws as Western Kentucky. And again, this is a Hilltopper squad that prides itself on getting to the line and actually making more free throws than their opponent even attempts. But it's been quite the opposite here tonight, and especially for Jacob Germany, who's now 6 of 7 from the free throw line. Davian McKnight really is limping. He's favoring that left leg. Turnover, 2-on-1. DJ Richards going straight to the hole.
Yeah, McKnight, Mike, he's definitely hurt. You saw him grimace there going back down the floor, just not able to have the same burst that we're used to seeing from him.
Well, just can't afford to lose him as Allen gets the foul on Richards. He'll have a pair of free throws, but a bigger concern right now is the health of Davian McKnight. Leading this team in scoring, averaging 17 per game, has not made a field goal tonight and now might be coming out of the basketball game. With 16 minutes still left to go, and his Hilltopper squad tied with UTSA at 47.
Welcome back to Diddle Arena. We have a birthday in the house tonight. UTSA head coach is turning, I'm not going to say his age, but he graduated from Kansas State in 1990. Steve, like you said earlier, he has had 96 wins so far. A win tonight would be his 97th. He's just 3 away from that lucky 3-digit number. I think a win tonight would definitely be a great birthday gift. What do you guys think?
Well, as a head coach yourself, I mean, is there any better birthday present you could get if you're coaching on your birthday?
Nah, I was just thinking the same thing. A road win in February is about the best you could ask for, and West Kentucky fans would certainly love to spoil that party for Coach Henson.
Dante Allen at the free throw line for 2. And for UTSA, this is a team that has really struggled on the road the last 2 years. They have not won on the road so far this season, where they're 0 for 8. They only won once away from home last year. So the road victories are exceedingly rare for this Roadrunner squad, but they've led most of the way here tonight. But now find themselves trailing early stages second half.
One thing you've got to do to win on the road in college basketball is you've got to have some experience. And, you know, the last couple seasons, UTSA been very young. When got a couple of transfers, and Jaffe Medor and John Buggs certainly helps. But you've got to have a veteran team to go on the road and be able to finish games down the stretch.
It's a big offensive rebound by DJ Richards. Otto Ankrum. This is, though, for the second time from 3. Germany also can't find the bottom. So a couple of cracks at it for the Roadrunners, but an empty trip in the end. Hamilton kind of an off-balance three that time.
Yeah, bobbled it a little bit on the way up. Thought maybe a shot fake and a drive would be a better option for him there in transition.
Isaiah Otto-Ancro, the junior from Houston, a little out of control going up, the former walk-on. Here's Acott. Now they tried to come around from behind and double team. That left an opening, and he exploited it.
Well, Davian McKnight gone to the bench. We mentioned earlier he looks a little gimpy tonight, maybe getting checked out by the trainers. And with him out of the lineup, no Jordan Rawls available tonight, it pretty much leaves ball handling duties to Manuel Acott, and took it upon himself right there to get in the paint and make something happen. And Medora was standing on the sideline. So Tyrone Marshall is going to come back in for Western Kentucky, but the absences are notable. Their leading scorer, Davian McKnight, now out hurt. Luke Frampton, who had been leading them in three-point shooting, out for the season, and his career is now over as well. Jordan Rawls, second in assists, out with a one-game suspension. So depth is certainly getting tested for Western Kentucky here tonight, but somehow trying to pull through. After trailing by double digits in the first half, they now lead by 4 with just over 14 minutes to play. Acott against Buggs. And a foul before the shot. Interesting season for this Western Kentucky Hilltopper squad. They were picked to finish second in the Conference USA behind UAB. They had the most players of any team in the conference on the preseason all-conference squad, but yet they have fallen short of expectations, and injuries certainly have played a role, but other players just have not lived up to their expectations, and as a result, they sit at 500, 11-11 on the season coming in here tonight, and only 3-8 in conference play. And a foul on Tyrone Marshall of the Hilltoppers here. That's the kind of program that they've had here over the years at West Kentucky. The preseason rolls around, you can expect them to be in the mix for that top spot in the league. Championships and NCAA appearances, postseason play, always the expectation here, and certainly had high hopes for this season, and at this point have not lived up to that. It's still a dangerous team, a lot of basketball to be played, and while a conference a regular season championship may be out of reach, certainly you're trying to get your team in position to play well in the conference tournament, have an opportunity for an automatic bid. And a lot of pride here in this program here in Bowling Green, and they will fight hard as you can imagine down the stretch this season.
Shot clock resets to 20 after it was down near 0. Christian Tucker going around for Lou Jean, and he absorbs the contact for the foul. Something else about Western Kentucky, too, they are one of the tallest squads in the entire nation. They have 7 players 6'7" or taller, including the tallest player in college basketball, of course, with Jamarian Sharp at 7'5", but yet it's a team collectively that is getting out-rebounded this season. How do you explain that?
Good question. I think Coach Rick Stern probably asking his staff the same thing. Like, how can we be bigger at every position and still be out-rebounded? I think it's a mindset. I think it's a toughness issue. Just got to want it.
Tucker here at the free throw line. And he gets him back to within 2. And remember, the 7'5" Jamarian Sharp on the bench for Western Kentucky with 4 fouls here. Still north of 13 minutes left to go. How long do you let him sit there? When would you think of bringing him back?
You know, if I'm Rick Stansbury, I'm thinking, you know, around that 5 or 6 minute mark, if I can get there. You just, you know.
Dante Allen, he's got 4 triples. Huge bright spot offensively, coming off the bench tonight, and now leading all scores in the game with 16 points.
Yeah, he's hit that shot from about that same spot, a couple in the first half, and then that last possession. And great to see him find his stroke tonight.
Defense has really tightened up for the Hilltoppers as well, it feels like. Jacob Germany with 5 to shoot.
Sometimes that's what happens. You make a few shots and it's easier to play harder on the defensive end. And I think this is where West Kentucky could be really good, getting the rebound, pushing in transition. And you see Acott right there hit the trail 3. And now this crowd's starting to get into it a little bit more here.
6-0 run and the largest lead of the night for the home team. Western Kentucky with just over 12 left to play. Now leading 57-49 over Texas San Antonio. When your starters are missing, you need contributions from elsewhere, and that's what Western Kentucky is getting tonight, especially from Emmanuel Acott, one of 3 players in double figures for the Hilltoppers.
Well, he's played point guard throughout his career and in previous stops, certainly a capable ball handler. They have really liked him in the mismatch down low tonight, backing a smaller defender down, able to score inside. And here you see him in transition hit the trail 3. So he's got it cooking a little bit right now, which is huge for West Kentucky considering the leading scorer, heart and soul of their team, David McKnight, has had to go to the bench with an injury here these last few possessions. We'll keep an eye on that to see if McKnight is able to return, but if not, Acott's got to shoulder the load down the stretch for the Hilltoppers.
And despite the injuries and absences for Western Kentucky, the Roadrunners have not been able to take advantage. They had a strong stretch offensively early in that first half, but things have completely turned around here in the second frame. Now, Western Kentucky hitting 6 of their last 8 from the field in the middle of a 6-0 run. The Roadrunners 0 of their last 7 from the field, and they have not made a field goal in the last 4 minutes.
Well, for the Roadrunners, they're in danger zone a little bit. They've been here before, played well early, had a lead for much of the first half. Now, can they answer the run that West Kentucky has made over the last several possessions? And that's a great way to do it right there. Break the press, easy bucket in transition.
Tyrone Marshall on the reverse. Good pass from Hamilton.
Heads up cut by Marshall on the baseline and a beautiful pass through traffic by Hamilton. Very unselfish.
Eric Zumbelt, the senior from Italy, in for the first time here in this second half for the Roadrunners. Here's Lander, attacking with a quick first step, but it's blocked from behind. 4 blocking 4. DJ Richards on Christian Lander, and then Zumbel tries to finish on the other end, and he picks up the foul in the process. So he'll shoot a pair of free throws. But first we step aside. 11 minutes left to go, and Western Kentucky leading by 8 here over UTSA.
Welcome back into Diddle Arena on this cold night where WKU is leading UTSA 59-51. Tonight, WKU is recognizing Black History Month. The game is free for students tonight. They've also recognized several African-American athletes over the history of WKU. I want to talk about Saturday's home game. They will be retiring the jersey of the late Dwight Smith. He is only the 11th player to join this club. He was the top rebounding guard in both his sophomore and senior seasons. He was drafted by the Lakers, their 3rd round pick, but he sadly died in a car accident before he got to play pro. That will be a very cool experience on Saturday if any of you fans get to catch that. I'll send it back to you guys.
And hopefully for the fans, Western Kentucky will be looking for their 2nd straight win on Saturday with Eric Zumbel here at the free throw line for the Roadrunners. It's been a very streaky Hilltopper team all season long. They have lost 5 in a row on 2 different occasions. They have won 5 in a row. They have currently lost 5 straight, and that comes on the heels of a 3-game winning streak. So this is a team that blows hot and cold and trying to blow hot again, beginning with this game here this evening.
And mix in a road win at UAB and all of that. One of the best teams in the league.
Right.
So, yeah, head scratching a little bit for Coach Rick Stansberry and his staff, just trying to figure out what can make this team click down the stretch. And I think with the you know, emergence of the transfer portal. I think you see that around the country a lot of times. Just because you bring a collection of talented players in, you have all these high expectations. Sometimes it takes a while for the chemistry to work to jive right, and I think maybe that's the case with this Western Kentucky team. With you know, some of these high-level transfers coming in haven't really performed to their expectations, at least as of yet. And then, of course, you got a couple of really devastating injuries to throw in there in the mix as well.
And Jarris Hamilton here at the free throw line, extending this Western Kentucky lead. As a coach, what do you do when you see a team that is going different directions like that and is so streaky? How do you get some more consistency out of them?
Well, I think you lean on your leadership, the guys that have been around the longest for this West Kentucky team. That's Davion McKnight. That's Jarris Hamilton. You know, it's great when the coach, you know, is telling you the right things, but it's even better when it comes from the players. And so you hope that your guys, your veterans that have been in your program for a little bit longer can be the ones that step up and make that happen. It kind of has to come from them.
DJ Richards, or I should say Josh Farmer that time, getting his own miss and scoring, the sophomore from Houston. Sixth man on this squad. Really a good energy guy.
Very quick off the floor. One of those kind of guys that can jump 2 or 3 times before you jump once, and there makes Hilltoppers pay on offensive glass.
So he gets the foul that time. Farmer with 13 points in the first meeting between these two schools. Really a versatile player. Can play different positions, good at both ends. And UTSA trailing by 6 with still half of this second frame left to go.
It's a total clear out for Acott on the mismatch right there. Tried to go opposite side with the pass, and good deflection there and a steal by UTSA.
DJ Richards taking aim at a 3. Tucker the rebound, and uncontested layup as a result. They've been good on the offensive glass here in this second half. Again, the 7'5" Jamarian Sharp on the bench with 4 personal fouls for Western Kentucky, so they don't have his rebounding ability and length underneath. Turnover by Richards. Tyrone Marshall for Acott. Hamilton blocked by Germany, and Buggs is able to come away. And Jarris Hamilton is shaken up at the other end as Josh Farmer finishes, but Jarris Hamilton was shaken up. The trainer came over, addressed him pretty quickly, and he races back down floor. Boy,
the hits keep coming for Western Kentucky.
And talk about streaky. It's streaky in that way too, with injuries as well as wins and losses.
I think maybe Hamilton dislocated a finger. I think maybe got his finger tangled up in Germany's jersey, but runs over to the trainer, gets it popped back into place, and hustles back down the floor. You got to admire the toughness from Jarris Hamilton. Shaking it off still. Can't feel very good. On his shooting hand, too.
Boy, it's just trying to get across the finish line at this point. Davion McKnight has already gone out to go with the absences that they started with. And now here is Dante Allen at the free throw line.
It's a good sign to see McKnight is at least back on the bench. I don't know his availability for the rest of this game, but he is back on the bench. I think we got word maybe he had tweaked an ankle. Not sure how severe that is. And again, like you said, let's get through the night, and we can get in the training room tomorrow. We can ice it up, we can tape it up. But let's just, these next 8.5 minutes or so, we need you. All hands on deck.
Put this losing streak to bed. Let's get the win here at home. Start off the 3-game homestand on the right note. And Allen has done his part here. Goes 1 for 2 from the line there, but still leading all scorers with 17 points. That was his first free throw miss of the entire game. Hilltoppers in the bonus as well, leading by 3 with under 9 to play.
Good Good individual defense by Lander on that possession. As quick as Jaffe Mador is, could not get by Christian Lander in the half court.
And Richards buries the three as the shot clock expired. Terrific defensive possession by Western Kentucky, and Richards on a contested three is able to tie this game.
It's very demoralizing for the Hilltoppers. You play great defense for 28 seconds, and the freshman sticks a dagger in as the shot clock expired. Big shot to tie the game.
Here's Falou Jun. Now the corner three from Akot. Shot clock resets to 20. Quick three from Allen. Germany underneath is fouled by Falou Jun. And the game's most frequent visitor to the free throw line is going back as he tries to put UTSA back on top in this very tight affair here at Diddle Arena. 7.5 left to play. Both teams trying to end losing streaks, but right now we are tied at 62.
Welcome back into Diddle Arena. Earlier I said it's a cold night, but it's heating up in here. Tie game 62-62 with less than 10 minutes left. I want to again preview something that's coming up on Saturday. February is also Heart Month, and on Saturday they're going to honor a very special boy, 11-year-old Davis Lowe. He was born with a heart condition, and he was one of the first patients in the U.S. to receive a Berlin heart, which is a mechanical heart that keeps your heart beating while you're waiting for a heart transplant. While he was waiting for that transplant, he had a stroke, which caused him to have epilepsy, cerebral palsy. He's also autistic and is nonverbal, but despite all of his health challenges, he is such a happy boy, and his favorite thing in the world is to watch WKU basketball and hang out with Big Red. So it'll be a super cool experience on Saturday. I'll send it back to you guys.
And hoping that the Hilltoppers can pull this one out. Both teams have led here in this second half of play after it was mostly the Roadrunners out front in the first half. And Jamarian Sharp back on the floor for Western Kentucky, playing with those 4 personal fouls. Jacob Germany at the free throw line for the Roadrunners. And the official word on Davian McKnight is that he has a foot injury and he is unlikely to return here this evening. Again, the leading scorer, averaging 17 per game without a field goal here tonight when he went out. So the Roadrunners trying to end this losing streak without him. And rolling the dice with Sharp and his 4 fouls here. But they get that size back in that they've been lacking here for the last 6 or 7 minutes. Now trailing by 2. Christian Lander. The three-point basket by Lander, the junior from Evansville, Indiana, whose father played football here. Lander himself started in Bloomington and transferred from the Hoosiers here to Western Kentucky, and he puts the Hilltoppers back in front.
Yeah, pretty good defensive possession for the Roadrunners until Lander bails out the Hilltoppers at the end of the shot clock, much like DJ Richards did a few possessions ago on the other end of the floor.
Josh Farmer draws the contact and lost the handle.
Just a little too deep in traffic there for Josh Farmer. Not the guy you want making plays off the dribble for UTSA.
6.5 to go. Akot with his foot on the line would have been a 2.
Jamarian Sharp playing with 4 fouls. Wouldn't be surprised to see Germany try to back him down a little bit. Maybe a shot fake, get him off his feet.
That time settled for the mid-range jump shot instead.
Settled, I think, is the right word. I think if you got Sharp on you playing with 4, maybe take him down, get him in the paint, see if you can pick up that 5th and really put the strain on West Kentucky's defense down the stretch.
Hilltoppers were bright early offensively in the second half, but now just 1 of their last 8 from the field. Make that 9, and Germany the rebound for UTSA. Here's Farmer. A little too heavy as he went up. And both teams struggling to connect the last couple of possessions.
Great, good, strong move, quick step to the baseline, unable to finish with the left hand right there. Farmer's a little frustrated with himself. He knows he should have made that shot.
5 minutes to go. Allen on the hook, floating through the lane, and the lead back to 3.
Great job by Allen, moving without the ball, a heads-up cut through the lane, and Lander able to find him. Nice floater finish.
Leading all scorers with 19 points. Under 5 to go. What's going to be the difference down the stretch?
Which team can get the best quality looks every possession down the floor?
Richards on the miss. Farmer, though, hunting for the rebound. Batted around. And the Hilltoppers come away. Valuable defensive rebound there. Closing in on 4 left to go.
Western Kentucky dodged a bullet there. Gives up the extra possession, and the UTSA not able to capitalize on the offensive rebound.
Timeout taken, both teams in the bonus, and the Hilltoppers leading by 3 here with just over 4 minutes left to go. Now both teams again shorthanded, just trying to see what they can pull off here to pump the brakes on the recent skids. Western Kentucky having lost 5 in a row, UTSA 8 in succession. They've also lost 11 of their last 12. So basically, trying to forget about January and start off February on a much more positive refrain.
It's a hard thing to do as a coaching staff to keep a team focused. It's struggled as much as both of these squads have, but as you mentioned, you don't want to look behind you. You're talking about, hey, we've got a whole month of basketball to play. We can get ourselves in position to play for a better seed in our conference tournament. You know, it's just you're playing for pride. You're playing for the guy that sits next to you in the locker room, and just a very, very difficult task for both these head coaches right now as we head into the grind of February.
Western Kentucky trying to climb above 500 overall, sitting at 11-11 coming in, and UTSA just 1 win in conference so far. They are 1-11 in Conference USA and still searching for that elusive first win on the road this season. 2 teams near the bottom of the conference, but boy, a win can sometimes, even though it's 1 game, feel like much more if you can pull it off.
Yeah, and I'm sitting here thinking about UTSA. If they're going to get that win tonight, we've got to see John Buggs assert himself a little bit. Been very, very quiet for the Roadrunners tonight. One of their top scorers and leaders, and he's been bottled up pretty well by Western Kentucky so far tonight. But if they're going to get a win on the road in Bowling Green here this evening, John Buggs is going to have to step up and make a few plays down the stretch.
Hasn't gotten a lot of minutes so far here this evening. He had 15 points in the first matchup between these 2 teams and was 3 of 6 from deep. And he's also their leading 3-point shooter on the season, but has been starved for game time here this evening. And now out of the timeout. Both teams here in the bonus. The only real foul trouble is Jamarian Sharp playing with 4 for Western Kentucky. Jaffe Medor, their leading scorer, does have 3. So closing in on the final 4 minutes. Acott on the pull-up, showing off the touch.
I think they wanted to get him isolated on the side coming out of that timeout, and they were able to do so, and he drives it hard to the baseline with a good runner finish. Acott really being very aggressive tonight off the bounce.
The 2nd game in a row he's been very good in the second half. Western Kentucky lost at Florida Atlantic in their most recent game, and Acott had 16 points, all in the second half. That was the entirety of his scoring, and it all came in the second frame, and he's also lifted his game offensively here in the second half tonight as well.
And recently, every time there's a dead ball situation where West Kentucky has an opportunity to set something up in their half court, they've run it through Acott. They've got him either isolated on a side, let him clear out against a defender, or back down a smaller defender in the paint. And he's a very capable passer too, so if you run a double team at him, he can make you pay off the pass as well.
Jaffe Medor has had a quiet night. Leading scorer on this team, now with just 6 points. So both top scorers for these two teams have not contributed all that much to the offensive output of their respective clubs. And McKnight for Western Kentucky now out, probably for the remainder of the evening. Here is a Lander falling away, and Germany comes away. He's against Sharp, playing with those 4 fouls. Clean block by Sharp. Now Germany tried to back him down, maybe didn't go as aggressively as he could have though.
I think maybe got away with the travel, was stumbling a little bit, didn't have his feet underneath him like he would like to go up a little bit stronger there on balance. Here goes the clear out for Acott again.
Under 3 to go, and the lead is 5. And a foul against Western Kentucky and Christian Lander. So Lander, now the first player with 3 fouls other than Sharp, who has 4. Everyone else 2 or fewer. So Medor at the free throw line. Now 3 of 5 from the stripe on the night.
Interested to see for UTSA what they do defensively on Acott. They have played him straight up in the post, and he's been able to back defender down, make things happen in the paint. If they run a double at Acott right there, we'll see if that throws him off balance.
UTSA, by the way, now with 32 free throws taken on the night. They've hit 25 of them, so it's 78%. A lot of their points coming from the stripe here. Down to 2.5 left to go. And the foul is on the floor.
Again, another great job by Allen of moving without the ball. And what about your 7'5" center throwing the bounce pass in traffic?
So Allen now at the free throw line where he's 3 of 4 on the night. Now has as many free throws made as he has 3-pointers made on the evening. First player to hit 20 points here this evening.
Really been a breakout game for him offensively.
Sometimes players need that opportunity where they see others around them just not able for injuries or whatever the reason might be, and when they know they're forced into the situation, sometimes they're able to rise to the occasion.
You know, Coach Rick Stansbury should have a lot of confidence in him moving forward throughout the month of February. I expect to see him be a much bigger part of their offense than he has so far this season.
2 minutes to go. DJ Richards blocked by Sharp. Came flying over, and the nation's leading shot blocker swats it away.
Most of his blocks come at the rim. That time he shows the ability to get out on the perimeter and contest shots, and big stop for West Kentucky right there. And I think you're gonna see Rick Stansbury argue that that should be an intentional foul. Obviously, UTSA wants to put Jamarian Sharp on the line, and got to be careful there as you're going. You want to commit the foul, but you got to make it look as if you're going for the ball. Very, very close to an intentional foul by Germany on that possession.
Now both teams are in the bonus here with 1:45 left to go. Sharp at the free throw line where he's just 1 for 4 on the night. Barely over 50% as a free throw shooter on the season.
Shown quite a bit of touch tonight. Is it 2 mid-range jumpers from the short corner, making some free throws? And say, foul me if you want to, guys. I'm going to make you pay.
Buries them both. Two huge ones here. And UTSA has to end this offensive drought where they have not made a field goal in the last 6.5 minutes. If they're going to keep this tight and have a chance, they need a bucket.
West Kentucky really shading to John Buggs out of the zone. Did not want to give up an open look to him on the perimeter.
And Germany finally hits a field goal. Timeout taken by UTSA. Jacob Germany leading the Roadrunners with 18 points now. And the lead for Western Kentucky sits at 4 with 1:21 left to go.
I like West Kentucky dropping back into the zone in that late game situation. Even if UTSA scores, sometimes when you're attacking against a zone, it takes you a little bit longer to get a quality shot. You saw on that possession, not a quick look in transition. It took them 4, 5, 6 passes to get the ball inside, and even though they scored, it took quite a bit of time off the clock. So I like that defensive strategy by Coach Rick Stansbury there. Drop back in that zone.
Texas San Antonio has only ever won once here in Bowling Green, while Western Kentucky is trying to win for the second time this season over this Roadrunner squad. Full court pressure coming from the Roadrunners here.
So the first key, obviously, to get the ball in bounds, number one. Number two, get the ball in your playmakers' hands. Guys that can handle, guys that can pass, guys that can step up and make free throws.
And the foul is made. Josh Farmer fouling Christian Lander. And he'll head to the free throw line for the first time tonight.
Yeah, two big ones here. Opportunity to make this a 2-possession game as we approach the 1-minute mark for Lander.
Christian Lander, the one-time high school All-American.
Yeah, Rick Stansbury going offense, defense here with Jamarian Sharp. Had him out on the offensive possession because, as you saw previously, the Roadrunner is going to foul him immediately, put him on the line. Now back in to protect the rim defensively.
Playing with those 4 personal fouls, but the lead now at 6 for the Hilltoppers.
Enough, no Jaffe Madur on the floor for UTSA.
Otto Ankra badly misses on the 3. Tucker has it stripped. Ankra picks it up and calls timeout. With 1 minute left to go. Now every possession huge for the Roadrunners here. Down by 6, just a minute left to go.
Yeah, and on the flip side of that, for West Kentucky, the last thing you can afford is to give second shots to the Roadrunners here. Got to clean the glass. Finish this game strong.
Well, again, as has been the norm this season, Western Kentucky has been out-rebounded on the night. The Roadrunners with 46 to just 38 for the Hilltoppers, and it's hard to fathom with the size and the length that this Western Kentucky squad possesses. The fact that they regularly get out-rebounded is hard to get your head around, but that's been the case here this evening. Nonetheless, they lead by 6 and hoping to hang on here. So what's the message from both huddles?
Well, for West Kentucky, expect the press. Got to get the ball in bounds, get the ball to our playmakers. For UTSA, you've got to go quick. You can't let much time go off the clock. You don't have to start shooting threes. You can afford to attack the basket, take what the defense gives you, allow you to set your press up, get to your man, right to your spots, and obviously if Sharp touches the ball, we want to foul immediately, put him on the line.
Now last year, Western Kentucky lost 5 in a row in the month of January, then won their next 7 in February, hoping that that pattern repeats itself here this year. Under a minute left to go. Here's Christian Tucker for Jacob Germany. Sharp on the block. And they didn't get the foul right away. Now they get it, and Landers going back to the free throw line. So again, Jamarian Sharp with some huge blocks here in the last 3 minutes.
That was a big one right there. And not only that, but they forced UTSA to milk a little bit of clock on that possession. Nothing quick for them, which is exactly what you want. And there's just Sharp able to get out on the perimeter, keep a ball hunter in front, and then rotate back to the paint for the block. It's very impressed with his ability to move his feet and cover a lot of ground. He's not just a guy that stands in the paint and blocks shots around the rim. He gets out on the perimeter, and he can guard a ball screen. He's got pretty good footwork there, and his length just allows him to contest shots all over the court.
That was a substantial free throw. Makes it a 3-possession game with 40 seconds left to go. Tucker, air ball from the elbow. And UTSA is running out of road here. One of their last 10 from the field. And trailing by 7 with just north of half a minute to go.
Falujan checking back in for the press break.
Rick Stansberry hoping for a big win here after he missed 9 games because of an illness. Back on the sideline here now tonight. And Western Kentucky going to try to work on the clock here. The foul by Mador, who is back in the game. And Dante Allen at the free throw line, but it is just about a nightcap for the Hilltoppers at this point. Dante Allen with 20 points, a career high. 6 of 13 from the field, 4 triples, and one has been a signature evening for a player who is forced into duty, not one of the regular starters, but coming off the bench.
And what about Jarris Hamilton right there with the home run pass against the press? It dislocates his finger a few possessions ago, comes back in the game and able to press break with a long pass there.
Tucker, Germany on the follow. 15 seconds left to go. And knocked out of bounds. No foul, but it will be Western Kentucky basketball. 6-point lead. But a full court press nonetheless from UTSA. And they get the foul from Buggs, and that should be it for him. The first player to foul out on the night, John Buggs, the redshirt sophomore from Louisiana.
Yeah, tough night for Buggs. Was not able to get it going offensively, and obviously Western Kentucky had a great scout report on him and was able to take him out of most of what he wanted to do on the offensive end tonight.
Well, the guy who had 15 points in the first meeting, coming off a 13-point performance in their last game, averaging 11. You also have Mador, who's averaging 13, but with only 8 points here this evening. So the Roadrunners not getting offensive production from the usual suspects here, and it looks like it's going to cost him. Allen back at the free throw line here in the final seconds. And Rick Stansberry's son makes an appearance in the game. For the final 10 seconds. Shot by Tucker over Emmanuel Acott. And another foul here, and free throws with 5.8 on the clock. But this is going to take Western Kentucky back over 500 on the season. 12-11 on the year will be their 4th conference win, but perhaps most importantly, ending a 5-game losing streak.
Well, another good thing about that, too, for West Kentucky is you've got a chance to build a little momentum here with a homestand. You get the win tonight, got a huge rival game with Middle Tennessee coming in, UTEP up next, and then Middle Tennessee. So got a chance to get a few things clicking here. And, while you hope, what you hope is that you know, the Davian McKnight injury is not so severe that he misses significant time, and then guys like Dante Allen and Manuel Acott able to step up tonight and get a little things going rhythm-wise offensively. So when McKnight does come back, you got a little bit more offensive firepower.
Western Kentucky puts 3 players in double figures. They win by 7, and they put an end to a 5-game losing streak by winning the first of a 3-game homestand here at Diddle Arena in Bowling Green. Meanwhile, UTSA has now lost 9 in a row and 12 of their last 13 after holding a double-digit lead back in the first half. It slipped away in the second frame, and they really went cold from the field, especially down the stretch.
Yeah, the skid continues for them, and again, whereas West Kentucky gets to stay at home for the next couple games, they got to go another road trip at Middle Tennessee this weekend, and you know this team is they've been close. They've been close, and there's you know not a lot of consolation in that for Steve Henson and his staff, but he'll continue to grind. And a lot of young players on this team. They got a bright future, but they're in the middle of a tough stretch right now for their program.
And let's go over to Lexi.
Hey Dante, great game tonight. You snapped a 5-game losing streak. How does that feel?
It feels great. You know, I had the whole team, everybody was locked in together, so it's a great feeling to get a win.
You had 22 points tonight, your season high, almost tied your career high of 23 points. What was clicking for you offensively?
Honestly, you know, I just put a lot of trust in my teammates, you know, and everybody got my back, and I got theirs. I'm just glad we got to bring out a win.
And how have you and your teammates stepped up with Frampton out? Obviously, Davion McKnight went out a little bit with some leg pain, and Sharp was out a little bit with those 4 fouls. How did you and the rest of your teammates step up in their absence?
I'm going to be honest, it's hard to replace a guy like Luke, and even Dave, you know, he gets our team going, they both do. So our team had to buckle down a lot, and everybody stayed together, and that was the most important thing.
You're on a 3-game homestand, UTEP on Saturday, rival MTSU next week. How do you keep this momentum going and keep it here in Diddle Arena?
You know, I think it's like, you know, our team's been through a storm, but I think everybody's staying together, you know, making sure everybody's going to practice, everybody's locked in on our film sessions. I think it's going to be a great.
Awesome. Thanks so much and great game tonight.
Thank you so much.
All right, I'll send it back to you guys.
All right, thank you very much, Lexi. And your final thoughts, Jay, on what stuck out the most here this evening?
Well, again, you had a great interview there with Dante Allen. You're very happy for that guy to come off, get the start tonight. Normally comes off the bench and really show what he can do offensively. You hope that leads, I hope that's a springboard for him over this next few games and provide a little firepower to this West Kentucky offense. The other thing for West Kentucky, you just hope you see Davion McKnight back on the floor soon, and that this is not an injury that will keep him out significant time.
All right, well, a big win here in the first of a 3-game homestand for the Hilltoppers as they put an end to a 5-game losing streak. They win by 7. Final score, 81-74 over the Roadrunners of UTSA. And now, for Lexi Schweinert and Jay Walton, as well as our student directors Chadwick Walden and Paige Murphy, I'm Steve Schlanger. Good night from Bowling Green, Kentucky.